Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and today I want to talk about Redirection. This is a brand new skill introduced in Sunbreak and it is fantastic. And this also marks the start of a little series we want to do where we break down some of the new and most noteworthy skills available in the game. We talk about what they do, how they interact with other skills, and their best use cases. So today, again, we're going to be focusing on Redirection, but if you guys like the idea of this series and you enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like, let us know in the comments down below if there are other skills you would like to know about, and stay tuned for more. So to begin with, Redirection. This is a skill initially that you will find on the Lunagaran armor, specifically the chest piece and the legs. Late game, it does of course also come on another armor set. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to mention that just yet so that you guys can avoid spoilers, but note that you will find it on other armor sets later on. In addition to this, it also comes as a level 3 decoration, and if you're lucky, you can also get it on charms. The skill itself requires that you perform a perfectly timed switch skill swap just as a monster attacks to reduce the damage and negate damage reactions. There are two levels for this. The first one simply will activate the effect. The second one, however, is the most noteworthy. This nullifies incoming damage and automatically performs a swap evade backwards, which, and this is the important thing, recovers wirebug gauge. This is really good. But what exactly does this mean? Well, at max level, it's essentially a free counter. It does not cost any wirebugs or stamina, and also leaves you ready to attack. So this is something you can use all the damn time. It actually, for those of you guys that played Generations Ultimate, feels very similar to Valor Dodge, although the larger difference here is that you're left with your weapon readied rather than stoned. So big notable difference. But what's really important is the wirebug refresh. This is already cool as a counter, but the big selling point here is that this gives you back around 50% of your wirebugs. So for those weapons that have slow recharge on some of your wirebug skills, pulling off a Redirection, pulling off a well-timed switch skill swap as a dodge through a monster attack, this will give you a huge chunk back to your switch skills, allowing you to use them more frequently. It's incredibly useful for weapons who don't have access to instant or cheap counters, or some of those sort of bigger, slower hitting weapons who struggle to move around more quickly. Also, weapons that are quite cost heavy, again, when it comes to wirebug usage in general. One great example being the Gun Lance. Bullet Barrage is a fantastic high power damage move, but does have a decent recharge. Pair this with Redirection, and you now have access to Bullet Barrage so much more than you ever could, provided of course you can pull off nicely timed dodge. One additional thing you can do, keep in mind that the switch skill swap feature with the red and blue scrolls allows for a wide variety of playstyles. However, for those of you that perhaps don't want to have too much variety, maybe you like your particular playstyle, you could even go as far as to just set up both the blue and the red scrolls absolutely identically, and then simply use Redirection as a means to swap. That way, when you swap between red and blue, you still have the same moves, the same combos, but this does give you a quick means to recharge those wirebug skills and just evade. When it comes to practicing this, it's not too bad to use. The window is relatively generous, but it's not the biggest counter window in the game. Largely speaking, what you want to do, for those of you guys that want to test this out, is you want to activate this as you are about to be attacked. As you sort of see the attack coming towards you, activate a switch skill swap, which of course you can either do with the left trigger and X+A, or if you have it on your action bar, you can simply press that, and then provided you're hit during the swap, it'll proc. Again, it's relatively easy to do, but the first few times you get used to it, the timing might sort of take a bit of adjusting, but once you've got it unlocked, this is a fantastic tool. It's also worth noting, this works well with Evade Extender. It's absolutely nuts. If you have Evade Extender maxed out and you pull off a switch skill swap, you basically instant transmission to the other side of the map. It is wild. Also, things like Bubbly Dance. That is a skill whereby when you evade, you of course get the Bubble Blight, and that grants you evasion when afflicted. And of course on its own, might not necessarily be that much of a draw, but you can then pair that with things like Resuscitate for the potential plus 20 attack. So pairing this with Redirection, which of course counts as an evade, is also another combination. You can also pair it with something like Quick Breath, where you can remove some statuses to slow their effects by performing the switch skill swap, and you of course also recover health in the process, so again, a nice synergy. Basically, there are lots of skills in this game that synergize with switch skill swapping, so having Redirection alongside that is a no-brainer. It also synergizes with things like Wirebug Whisperer to of course further speed up your recharge on your wirebugs. You can also factor in one of the dangle before you go on your quests when you eat them. If you grab the shifter dangle, then when you perform a switch skill swap, it will recover health, but if you use the max hopping dango version, it recovers even more health and also nullifies stamina consumption on regular swaps. You even have things like Wall Runner Boost, which you can then use to further reduce your wirebug gauge, so all of these together can be great ways to basically give you access to your Silkbinds all the damn time. It is worth noting it does not work with Blade Scale Hone, which is the Seregio skill, because that requires you specifically evade through an attack and not perform the switch skill swap. So just something to note. Anyway, for the time being, that is pretty much it. That's a little rundown on the Redirection skill, a fantastic skill you should definitely check out if you're not using it already. If you guys did enjoy this video, again, a like would be super appreciated. Let us know if there are more skills you want to know about. If you've missed some of the recent videos, be sure to check out one of these ones, and stay tuned for plenty more.